This is a very interesting election campaign. We have a number of candidates, and particularly we have some independent candidates who, first of all, believe they are the only custodians of Gaza and Palestine. They've made some remarkable remarks, yet when you look into the details of it, they've actually done nothing. In my constituency, Ayub Khan, who says he's defending the rights of people in Gaza, has done absolutely nothing. This is the resolution that he represented to Birmingham City Council, which doesn't have a single word about ceasefire. The ceasefire issue was mentioned in an amendment to that resolution by the Labour group, and they put this forward. So somebody who purports to vote for Gaza and supports Gaza and is accusing people of not voting for Gaza, not voting for the ceasefire, himself has not done anything to support Gaza, has not called for a ceasefire when he needed to in the Council House. I, on the other hand, have called for ceasefire. I have supported the humanitarian cause in Parliament, asked questions on the floor of the House. I voted for a ceasefire. I called for the support of the ICJ, the ICC, the humanitarian crisis, and the issue of starvation of the Palestinian people in Gaza. So none of that has come through. So I don't know why these people who've done nothing for the cause, and I've not done it now. I acted in 1994 when the issue of Gaza was raised in Parliament, when the Labour Party moved an amendment that there should be a recognition of the state of Palestine. I voted for it. In 2006, when there was a crisis against South Lebanon, I spoke for the people in Lebanon, but also, above all, for the people in West Bank and Gaza. I have been involved in this issue for over 35 years. Palestinian isn't a new thing to me. It isn't an issue that has come forward since the 7th October, which to my opponents it has been. So let's not promote people who believe that they can jump on this bandwagon, who think they play on the emotions of the Muslim community. This is an important issue, and what we need to do is treat it seriously. Vote for the person you believe and you know who's active throughout this period for the people of Palestine, for the people of Gaza, for the Uyghurs, for the Rohingyas, for all those places where there's been conflict against Muslims and other communities, who stands for human rights and civil liberties across the piece. Thank you. This is an absolute nonsense. My party has not been in government. It is the Conservatives who have been in government. There may have been issue at the start of the Gaza issue, but that was put forward very clearly, very swiftly, where all Muslim MPs and some Muslim peers met with the leadership. And since then, you've seen a huge shift in the position of the Labour Party, to the extent now the Labour Party supports the ICJ, the ICC, issues of human rights and issues of aid. All of that is supported, but above all, the Labour Party will now support, as we did before in 1994, is the recognition of the state of Palestine. I have proved the work I've done, not just for Palestine, which I have done since the Oslo Accords. I think my opposition doesn't even know what that is and what happened then. That was in the early 90s, where there was a deal with Yasser Arafat by the then Israeli government. Since then, and before that, I worked together with my very good friend Richard Burden, who's a member of Parliament from Northfield. We worked together in Parliament on that. We had a number of debates after 2001 when I came into Parliament, and in the early 90s when I wasn't a member of Parliament, and we moved forward. So I have a track record, and I can prove all of my track record, as I've sent a leaflet across showing what I've done since October the 7th. I don't see a challenge from the independents. What I do see is a huge amount of propaganda against me, which is unwarranted, untrue, which is there to raise the tensions within the Muslim community. It's an abuse of the commitment of the Muslim community. The Muslim community has always been, in terms of supporting the Muslim issues, these people are doing it for themselves, and that's all they do. They have no interest of Gaza at their heart. They've done nothing for the people of Palestine. They've done nothing for the people of Kashmir. They've done nothing for the Rohingyas, Uyghurs. They've done nothing for any of those people. Where is their track record? Show me the videos. Show me the work they've done. It's an absolute fantasy, and all they want to do is tug on the heartstrings of the Muslim community, who's very rightly concerned about the issue in Gaza. Well, my main competitor in this campaign, according to the polls, is Reform. They are a conservative, far-right conservative organisation, more right to the Conservative Party. They in the polls are doing better than the Conservative Party. Always throughout the last 24 years, the Conservatives have been a challenge to us, but we've beaten them quite easily. Majorities of over 15,000 votes, and will continue to do that. These people have no place in current politics. They have no place for the representation of our community, and they're just trying to highlight themselves to be something that they're absolutely not. 40,000 constituents will be seen, patients will be seen, to reduce the shortlist every week, because there'll be consultants in the evenings and at the weekends performing the work that they need to perform, and we're promising to cut that down in the first 5 years, and we'll reduce that 7 million list as much as we can to do that. There are issues also of unfairness in terms of what the Conservative Party has done in terms of universal credit, which has made huge amount of cuts to people who least are able to afford it, but also PIPs, which are the personal independence plans for those people on long-term disability. They're cutting everybody down to the bone, so making it even difficult for those people that are least able to afford it. I understand fully that the population of Aston is different, similar to Lascelles I've worked with before, and with Witten, who've already been in part of my constituency. But I understand the issue. I understand the fact that there are different communities. There's the African Muslim communities there as well. There are the Bangladeshi Muslim community as well. That's there. There's of course the Pakistani Kashmiri Muslim communities that's there as well. There are other communities within that, Gujarati Muslims, Konkani Muslims that are there. So I understand the whole breadth of the Muslim community. And what I want to do is, first of all, is not segregate the Muslim community, but unite it together on issues. Of course, Gaza is a very passionate issue. The way the acts have been carried out by the IDF and the Israeli government are horrendous. And that is why we have supported the ICJ and the ICC, and I've done that many times in Parliament, and I will continue to do that. I, as I said, in 1994, voted for the independent Palestinian state, and I've already made my views clear in the last Parliament, as I will do moving forward, to ensure that in order to have two-state negotiations, you have to have a state of Palestine. And that is the only way to move forward, and I'll do my very best to continue with that. It's a privilege to be standing here as a candidate in my 7th election. I worked very hard for my constituents. I continue to do that. There is a different issue at this election, particularly in terms of what has happened in Gaza and how we should deal with that. I, for my part, dealt with it by voting for the ceasefire. I have voted for supporting the ICJ and the ICC. I have spoken clearly against the stoppage of aid. I continue to speak on the issues of human rights denied by the IDF, and I will continue to do that. But there are candidates that are standing who purport to say lots of things, but they don't understand what those things are. This is a resolution that my opponent pushed for in the Council House. It does not mention ceasefire at all in that. The ceasefire at the Council resolution was mentioned by the Labour Party. The Labour councillors mentioned it, and yet these people go out and say that the Labour Party does not do anything. These are the people who do nothing. They have nothing to deliver in terms of what's going on with Gaza. They talk about it. They've had not an opportunity to do it. When they have an opportunity, they haven't done it. As far as I'm concerned, 2004, there was a vote by the Labour Party for recognition of Palestine. I voted for it. I know the leader of the Workers' Party did not vote for that. So all these people who are running around on red herrings are there to put propaganda forward and play at the heartstrings of the Muslim community. What we need to do is to make sure that we're not taken in by these people and we rely on facts and what is true. So these people have done nothing about Gaza, about Palestine, about Kashmir, about the Rohingyas, about the Uyghurs, and any of the Muslim community who have been under desperate positions. So they talk about it, but they know nothing about it. They do nothing about it. All they want to do is self-promotion during this election, and they have no role in this election at all. This election is between me and the Reform Party, who are the two leading candidates, and I have a huge lead over Reform. But inshallah, I rely on the vote of everybody, including I hugely value the Muslim community who will support me. Inshallah, they have done in the past, they will do. The Sikh community are here, the Afro-Caribbean community that is here, all the communities that are together here, the Konkani community, the Gujarati Muslim community, all of those communities that are here, I've worked with for a long time, and they support me on the record that I've set, not by these Johnny-come-latelys who have no understanding of politics, no understanding of issue. They believe that they'll go into Parliament and wave a stick around and they'll get the attention and they'll be the leaders. That is not how Parliament works. Parliament is a structured organisation and has to be done in a structured way. These people will have no support of any other party, nor will they work with anybody, and they will not be able to deliver anything. They tell you untruths, and that is what's wrong. We should have honesty in this election.